welcome to the Wednesday week. Hello from the other side edition, where we speak to the opposition. Today I've got the big Burton fan Edward on the line, or Eddie. Ed, he likes it, whatever. How are you going, Ed? Are you all right?
Yeah, like I say, just something that actually sounds like Edward is perfectly fine for me. I'm very well. Hope you are as well, Blair.
Yeah, nice one. All right, Ed. So Burton, we'll talk about Burton's journey for now, and then we'll talk about the slog what's been this season. So, I've just looked at your club standings for the past 10 years. It's been quite a journey, has it not? From League Two all the way to the Championship.
Yeah, I suppose. I think when we look back, we really put into perspective. Really, in some ways, I suppose actually being where we are right now as a competitive League One outfit is a real achievement because I think this is our 15th, 16th season actually as a Football League side. Entered the Football League back in 2009, having spent the entirety of the history since forming in 1950 in the non-league system, and then within 10 years we were playing Championship football. So I think it was 6-7 years straight League Two level, slowly progressing up there, eventually becoming a playoff contender, a promotion contender, and then just went straight through League One at the first opportunity. So back-to-back promotions, playing in the Championship against you, the likes of yourselves and others as well. 2 seasons in the Championship, dropped back down to League One. And I think since COVID, we've kind of been, I think our manager would say we've been on a bit of a slide since COVID, since Nigel Clough gave us time to the end. He's now, of course, with Mansfield Town. And we've kind of become maybe a team that was aspiring towards the top end of the league, and we've found ourselves in the last couple of seasons kind of hanging on in there, especially this one.
Yeah. It was Clough he got you to League Two. Did he get you to League One, Clough, before he left to Sheffield United?
So Clough had left Burton in a really strong position in what was known as the Blue Square Premier at the time, nowadays known as the National League. They were a long way clear at the top.
He went to Derby, didn't he, first?
He took the Derby job, yeah. Burton was so far ahead, it didn't end up mattering. I think they got it over the line right towards the end of the season, although the lead wasn't as big as at the time. So our first 2 seasons in League Two was with Paul Pesky-Solido as the manager.
Oh, yeah.
And it was... I'd say it was quite average, was my perception. There were a couple of good cup results in there every now and then, but generally we were quite an average mid-table outfit. I remember his tenure came to an end. I think it was the 11-12 season when he went 19, I think it was, without a win. And that ultimately cost him his job. And the assistant at the time was Gary Rowett, who you, of course, will know now is doing great things with Millwall and a lot in the Championship. So we gave him his first break in management, and he was great. He took us up towards...
Birmingham snapped him from you, didn't he?
Yeah, Birmingham snapped him with us in the kind of promotion mix, and then in comes Jimmy Thorpe Hasselbank for his first job in England, who'd I think had a little spell with Standard Liège, I think it was, out in Belgium, enhances the squad, takes them up as champions, and by the time he leaves about a year later, Queen's Park Rangers, we're 2 points clear at the top of League One, with Nigel Clough coming back in to take us over the line and lead us into the Championship for the first time.
Mad. I can remember in the Championship, you handed probably one of my biggest embarrassments of being a Sheffield Wednesday fan. He spanked us 3-0 Hillsborough. I mean, that was dark days from our point of view.
Yeah, I remember that. It wasn't the game I was at, but I do remember that coming through on New Year's Day. And I mean, we were massive underdogs all the time in the Championship. It was literally like being a shrimp in a pool of sharks, Burton compared to the level. To spend the first season outside the relegation zone and survive is probably one of the most impressive achievements of the last decade or so.
Yeah, in English football, I don't think people realise just like how big of an achievement that actually was for Burton. And then, so what happened then to get relegated? We're just a level too high. Did you lose any star players?
Well, there was a bit. I think mistakes were made with recruitment. We were persisting with a goalkeeper in Stephen Bywater who was way past it. I think he was 37, 38 at the time. Just couldn't hack it to the same level anymore. You lose John Messina, who's let go, who'd been the club captain, part of the team that had gone back-to-back promotions, and he was let go. And then you go and sign Liam Boyce as a striker, who just won the Golden Boot in Ross County up in Scotland, was a high prospect. And he gets an ACL injury in pre-season, and so he's not available until the end of February, and getting back up to speed towards the end, where he did manage to contribute a bit. So, yeah, the last 4 games were quite heartbreaking, really. I think we were 7 points from safety with 4 left, won 3 of the last 4, went into the final day with Preston, where there was a period of a few minutes where we were actually staying up because we were drawing with Preston and Bolton were losing to Nottingham Forest. And then Bolton go and score 2 quick-fire goals right at the end of the game, win that game with Forest.
Yeah,
and we need to get a win, push everyone forwards, and Preston go and hit us on the break, and that seals it. So we went down the final day, which, to be honest, 4 games earlier we did not think was going to happen.
No. Oh, I mean, mad. So last season, where did you end up last season?
I tried to forget last season. Mid-season, so I tried to get. I think it was 16th or 17th, I think.
were you as a Burton fan, did you want to go straight back up last season, or did you think, right, we've had this championship was too hard?
Well, I think there's always a little bit of realism with us as Burton fans. I remember last season started really well, won the first 3 games, including wins over Ipswich and Sunderland, who were, of course, one of the promotion favourites at the time. So
yeah.
that all started great. But as the season progressed, you kind of got the sense that we're just too far off the top teams. We were playing the top 6 sides at the time, and they were just seeing us off, so it felt like a step too far. And the real damaging was probably the January 2021 window, where a large chunk of the team's goals were let go. We had a lad on loan from Sheffield United, Daniel Jefferson, got recalled last minute. That was painful. You lose Lucas Akins, who's been a stalwart at the club for so long. Kane Hemmings, who's one of our top scorers, was let go. Tom O'Connor was sold to Wrexham. So you probably lost about 40% of the club's goals in one single window, and it wasn't replaced. And it started to decline in the second half of the season that certainly carried over into the first half of this season. So I think the signs were there, really, that we're going to be in a relegation battle this year from the state the club had been able to get into from last season.
It was Jimmy Floyd came back. Did he come back this season, or did he come back last season?
He came back in January 2021, so the middle of the 2021 season.
Okay, right, okay, yeah. So, and he it was a bit of a joke on Twitter, but he palmed you off and to go to Sky Sports, to sign for Sky Sports. That's what people were saying.
I mean, it's changed now. I mean, we had such affection to Hasselbank because of that first spell where I think he won 60% of his games. It was the most ridiculous 11, 12 months he had, where he took us from a League Two challenger and basically put us in position to go and get promoted to the Championship. So when he came back, as opposed to QPR and Northampton fans who don't think anything of him from his time at management there, we were quite excited to happen, and he goes and pulls off a miracle turnaround where I think in the second half of that season we'd have ended up in the playoffs. The points return was that good at the time, and he got us well clear of trouble. And then it all just kind of regressed the season after. The January window, as I said, didn't help. It led to a real regression, and it culminated in this season where he was there for the first 7 games. He picked up a single point, conceded about 20-odd goals, and he resigned at the start of September with Dino Mamre taking the helm for the rest of the campaign.
Right. And now he's got England. Now he's in the England job.
Oh, it was the butt of the joke that he was more bothered about Sky Sports than us, and to be honest, he probably was. And I guess now he's taken it on partly because of they played together with Southgate and Middlesbrough, didn't he? And being the Burton manager, he gets St George's Park anyway, so he's probably close to the area as it is. So it's familiar surroundings
still lives
for him.
There,
Yeah, well, we'll see how it does. I think he's there as a coach rather than manager, which I'll be keeping him off the tactics. I think we'll be all right.
Right, so I'm just looking at your top arrivals this season. Then, so you got so this I'm going off transfer mark. I mean, this could be a load of crap. Callum Butcher, Charlie Kirk, Sam Winall, who we know about. Victor, can't pronounce his surname, and Jordan, can't pronounce his surname either. So, do you know what players I want about, or is transfer market mugging me off again?
No, there's a couple there who aren't even worth talking about. Butcher had gone by January. I think he's back up in Scotland now with Motherwell. That
was, so he came
he was he was a player we previously had on Hasselbank back in 15-16 in League One. He was actually quite good, and now he's just not really cut it this time. Jordan Amisa, you referred to there, the goalkeeper. He's the backup goalkeeper coming on loan.
The Victor player, he's gone to Bolton.
Yep, he had a brilliant half season. Got double figures in the first half of the season.
He's top goal scorer, 11 goals.
Still is. He was sensational first half.
Yeah,
and Bolton activated his release clause and bought him in January, and now he's going to be part of their playoff push.
Yeah, bastards. just how it goes.
We felt quite down at the time when he got sold, but I think we're doing all right without him. You could say.
Yeah, he got 570 grand apparently on this website for him. How would you pronounce his surname?
Adebayo.
There we go. Yeah, no chance of me saying that. And then Sam Winall, hopefully he's not playing this week because he's
injured. He's
passes.
Not fit at the moment.
He had I don't think he had a fair crack at Hillsborough. I really liked him, and from his celebration at Barnsley, he'll always be a top bloke in my eyes.
Yeah, Winall, I remember it was very long ago. I think when Burton were League Two, he came in as a young lad. I think it was from Aston Villa at the time as a loanee, so he'd had a bit of previous experience with Burton. Right. Got signed as a free agent from Oxford, and he's contributed a little bit. He obviously got a goal at Hillsborough in the reverse fixture. Scored in the Pizza Trophy game as well. His best goal was probably his winner against Exeter in I think it was the middle of February. That was a crucial win for us. So he's made a little contribution, but he's a player that's always sadly struggled with fitness.
Yeah, it's a shame. He went to Derby. I think he did his ACL. I think And it ruined him on loan from Derby, a bit controversial. We swapped him for a player called Jacob Butterfield, who was absolutely horrendous at Hillsborough. So this season, you're virtually safe now.
Very close, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably one more win would do it.
I would say so, yeah.
Was that as a Burton fan? Is that what you wanted, just to stay in the league? Really?
I think it became clear after the first 5 or 6 games that we were going to be in a relegation battle with how poor the start was, as I said. And Dino Mumry, the manager, has had an uphill task from the word go from the moment he took charge in early September. And I think his whole plan was, we're going to try and stay into the mix until January, which we did, and then we're going to get productive January window, get quality in from front to back, and probably go at this. And that's exactly what's happened. So I think I've seen since the turn of the year we're a top half side. So perfect turnaround to get yourself out of trouble.
Yeah. So apart from the players I've just butchered or just using this website, I've done some quizzes using this website before. I've been absolutely rinsed in the comments for it. So this website could be talking a lot of shit. Who was your standout players this season? Who you might think someone might try and pinch as well in the summer?
Yeah, it's interesting because we've got quite a number who are going to be out of contract. We'll see what happens with them. But the crucial man to me is Sam Hughes, who plays in the centre of defence, centre of the back three. We know exactly what we're getting.
Assists. You got most
assists. Yeah. Part of the reason we're a big set piece threat team, so it's often played quite deep, and he heads it back across to someone to tap it from close range. So that's probably part of that. He got a goal and assist at Charlton on Monday as well, so he's contributed well. And he's such an integral defender. He's absolutely no nonsense. You know what you're getting. And I can't help but notice that we had a little period in January where he was unfit to play, and we lost 5-0 to Morecambe and 4-0 to Shrewsbury. And that would not happen with him in there. I'm absolutely guaranteeing.
Losing 5-0 to Morecambe's a bit of a...
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one that Morecambe have got a couple of 5-0 wins and are probably going down despite it.
Yeah. So you got Sam Hughes. Who else?
The another integral man at the minute is Joe Powell on number 7. He's kind of bit part at the start of the season, signed a new contract for 2 years. And what's kind of happened is that other injuries to players has forced him back into deeper midfield. I think he's always naturally seen himself as an attacking midfield player, but now he just plays at the base of midfield, and he's so integral to how we play. He's one of the most competent players on the ball in the team. Regularly will play it out wide, starts to get into assists. He's the one who puts the 3 kicks and the corners in to people to attack. So really integral player for him. And the last one I'd probably mention is our number 8, our striker with 8 on his back, because the 9 wasn't available. It was taken by Winnell. And it's Dale Taylor, who's coming on January from Nottingham Forest. He looks one hell of a prospect, 19 years old, Northern Ireland international. I think he's got 5 goals to his name already so far. He looks one with a really bright future at Forest.
Nice one. It's good to look out for them. So is there anyone else you think you could command a fee for in the summer, or?
It depends on the contracts. I mean, our young midfielder Terry Taylor is one that we really like. I think his contract's running out this summer, so we think we might have seen his last game already because he's sadly out for the rest of the season with injury. But he's a great deep line midfielder to have when he's available. And then I suppose Tom Hamer, who's unfit at the moment as well. We've got loads of people out injured at the minute, but he plays right back, right wing back, and it's normally he's the first choice to take our long throws that launch to the box that people like Hughes to go and try and attack.
Are these good ages? Are they good ages? How old are these?
Yeah, they're both young 20s. Those guys. Tom Hamer's played about 200 games in his career. He started so young at Oldham Athletic, and then got bought by Burton a couple of years ago. And Terry Taylor came through at Wolves. Yeah,
I've seen this. Tom Hamer's got 5 assists, and Sam Hughes got 6 assists. So I mean, if that's your right back and centre half, and they both got 3 goals apiece as well. So they're pretty decent lads, aren't they?
They get in there. They're both as good headers of all those two.
Yeah, interesting. And you said about Tom's injured. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's been out the last few weeks. So, I played John Braithwaite out there. You'll probably be familiar with. Years at Sheffield United, of course. He's club captain. He's 30. Thought that he's coming to the end. He's coming to his time. He's got such an affection from the fans here, but we all kind of know he will come to the end slowly. And I think he'll probably play right wing back at this occasion. The kind of annoying thing is that because Tom Hamer's unavailable, our long throw is Connor Shaughnessy, who is the tallest player in the team. Yeah. So the tallest lad in the team is taking the throw, and I really want him on the end of the throw. Exactly. It's annoying, but there's no alternative at the moment, sadly.
Yeah, it's funny that you said John Braithwaite. I remember when United signed him for £1 million, and we all laughed at him because he didn't get promoted and spent £1 million on a right back. And well, I think they're laughing now anyway. So recent form for both clubs has been absolutely shocking, and I'm glad you mentioned injuries because we lost to Forest Green Rovers, which I'm still not over it. I'll be honest, Ed.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, absolutely horrendous. We created nothing. We had no shots on target, and then some of our fans, do you know what I mean, on Twitter being ultra defensive, were saying like, yeah, but we've got Byers and Windass who are, apart from banning, our best two players by far. But we shouldn't need them players to beat Forest Green. And also, Forest Green have a lot of injuries as well, because I spoke to a guy from Gloucestershire Live, and he was saying that like Forest Green's squad's threadbare. So
Every club has injuries, really, don't they? That's always part of it.
Wednesday fans have been using this excuse for having the poor form in the past 7 games as down to these 2 injuries. It's just like, yeah, but everyone's got injuries. Like, we're not playing Burton's strongest 11 on Saturday, so it's just like, come on, lads, get a grip with it. Right,
it is worrying. I suppose it's a question to ask you, really. Like, what kind of confidence do you carry into the fact that your last game is a win? Because I remember going back to the Barnsley game when you had that long unbeaten run. You played that Barnsley game. I remember watching it. I loved it. It was a really thrilling game. But I remember you coming out of that thinking, yeah, you kind of can lose it because Barnsley are in a good nick like yourselves. And then you look at the games coming up. You've got bottom half sides to most of the rest of the season. Great chance to bounce back. And then it takes you 4 games to go and win your next one against Accrington.
Oh, mate. This was...
it was a really bad slump.
Yeah, well, before I had my... so, on the main pod, I was at the Barnsley game. And I said, like, look, sensible head-on would say... We've got Forest Green, Cheltenham, Oxford, Accrington next 4 games. You know, it will bounce back from the loss. That being said, and then I had a big meltdown about losing to Barnsley because we didn't want to lose to Barnsley. I would have rather lost to Forest Green, which we did anyway, and to lose the unbeaten run and then lose to Barnsley. So so it's a weird because we haven't created much in the past 7 games, and we're quite dull. It's been quite dull, really. We've not created much. We did put Accrington to the sword, but Accrington they're dreadful, aren't they?
That's the thing. I wonder. Like, is this a case of you getting back on track, or is it just a case that you played one of the worst teams in the league and taken advantage of it at Hillsborough?
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit of both. There was a bit more movement up front on Saturday. Whereas if you watch the Oxford game, we win the ball back in midfield, and there was no runners, nothing up front, and it's just like, I mean, we've got the most creative player in the league in Barry Bannon, but no one's running for him. so he's got to try these over. He's got to try too much and try these like balls that only Bernardo Silva can do to try and craft anything out of the team, because up front there's just nothing going on. So it's a bit worrying, and sometimes Darren Moore can get labelled with no plan B, which I think he's vindicated sometimes. Hopefully, after smashing Accrington on Saturday, we did comfortably beat them as well. I think they clipped the crossbar on them, one of them fluke, one of them cross shot things, sort of like tips the crossbar. So other than that, they didn't threaten at all, really. But this is the thing: we look at Burton. From an arrogant big Sheffield Wednesday top of the league fan, we should be getting 3 points with them after seeing the Forest Green Rovers, Oxford and Cheltenham last week. I'm not too sure. And Burton's always been a funny one for us, a bit of a banana skin.
It was in the Championship, wasn't it? But since we've come back into League One together, you've done all right against them.
Yeah. I can remember Gary Hooper scored that like almost like a back heel at your place.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be our that was supposed to be the season where we actually got automatics, and it went fucking horrendously wrong. I think we finished we ended up finishing 16th with a German bloke in charge at the end, so it just went mental that season. I've got to be confident. So how are you feeling about the game?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that bothered. It's that stage of the season now, like you say. We have got quite a nasty April. It's yourselves. On Tuesday we're hosting Bolton. Then we're down at Derby on the 22nd. We've got to go to Lincoln and then Plymouth Argyle to wrap up April. And then 2 more games in May. So we're basically playing every 3 days now to the end of the season. So quite congested. But in the back of my mind, I know realistically 3 more points and we're there. Yeah, so if it doesn't come from this, it might come later down the line. And to be honest, you give me the choice between this weekend or next weekend against Derby, I'm having next weekend. I don't want to see Derby beat Burton.
No, I don't think Derby are going to make the playoffs either. I think they're going to just miss out as well.
No, that would dent them definitely. But it's quite interesting because we obviously have quite a lot of the playoff promotion candidates, and there's that thought in your back of your mind: could we kind of mess it up to them because we had Barnsley on Good Friday, got a 2-1 win there, and
Great save by your lad
that's
on the line, by the way.
Brayford saving on the line. He might go and deploy it again this Saturday if he needs to.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that? Got nothing to do with our game now, but did you see about the Ipswich Town fans have worked out, but the referee on Saturday.
I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to matter one bit. He'll probably just go as normal.
No, but I just think it's hilarious. But they've gone to such lengths to find out who the referee supports to try and work out anyway. Right, so we've done 20 minutes. I could talk about football all day with you though, that's the problem. So who do you reckon you're starting? So who's injured then out of your and who do you think's going to start then? So out of your first teamers, who's injured?
Starting 11, I would say it's going to be Craig McGillivray in goal. A back three of Jasper Moon, who's a Barnsley loanee, alongside Sam Hughes and Connor Shaughnessy. I would say Zach Ashworth, who's a West Bromwich Albion loanee, plays at left wing back. Braithwaite's probably going to play at right wing back. I think he'll go with a midfield three: Mark Helm, Joe Powell, and Deji Oshalaja. And then I think have Josh Walker and Delta deployed up top. But he might instead go 3-4-3 because we're at home and play Charlie Kirk instead of Mark Helm, potentially in a 3-4-3 instead. Two different ideas in my head.
Right, well, I know Darren Moore listens to this, so Darren, sort it out. I couldn't tell you our predicted 11 because sometimes Darren Moore, it's like he just throws 11 darts at a dartboard and goes, right, that's my formation, because he'll play a centre midfielder at right wing back and a left back in midfield, and you're like,
yeah, Reece Jay's playing in the middle.
Yeah, so this guy knows. Clued up you, Edward. So yeah, I think Callum Patterson's back, which is weird because early part of the season, last season, I hated him. He just seemed to give away free kicks all the time, but never actually contribute to the games. And then every time, and our Achilles heel last season was someone crossing it in, and then we lose it, concede a goal from a set piece, and it used to be the set piece where he get away. That's been addressed a bit this season, but then, and early on this season, he was more to the same, and then he got linked with Hearts, and I think he wanted to decide, and he's on last year of his contract, and he realised that he actually likes it here. He don't want to leave. This is my theory, because ever since he's got the links with Hearts, he's been absolutely amazing. So it's just like if he's trying to earn a new contract, he's doing everything right. So we're getting him back. I want to say Josh Windass is getting very, very close. He was signing autographs and doing a lot of fan stuff this weekend, which normally seems that they're close. Because George Byers is also injured, but he's been nowhere near the club. I think he's absolutely just done for the season.
You kind of look at Dennis. I can't say his name. Dennis Adeniran kind of needs to step up again, doesn't he? Like he did against.
Yeah, this is the thing. So we've just released our goal of the season highlights, which I hate doing a month on because we've still got a month left. Another awesome goal could come in next month, and a lot of the goals are from the first half of the season, and it's from Adeniran.
In that Rochdale game, I remember it.
Yeah.
One. I remember it.
Yeah. Well, they're in there. So Adeniran, Delibishiru, and Backinson, three midfielders who all played awesome the first half of the season, and then we had a run of a consistent team of Volks, Bannon, and Byers. And then we were sat there as fans and on the podcast like, fucking hell, look at our depth. Like, one of these lads gets injured. We've got these three mint players on our bench that's come in and step in. And since Byers has been injured, he's given each one of them a chance, and they've all let him down. Deniran got 2 on Saturday, but he's still weren't great, and it's just weird, like how far they've dropped off. Like, just not being in the team for a couple of months has really, really made them just get off the pace a bit. I don't know. I'm not in behind the scenes. I don't know enough about like football coaching and stuff, so I don't know what's happened. Is their heads being turned? I don't know. They're all out of contract in the summer, I think, as well. So I don't know what they're playing at. So yeah, if one of them play, that's why Reece James has had to go in midfield because he's got so fed up of giving these lads a chance, but he's had to end up putting a left back in midfield. It's just like, and you sit there going, "Hang on, mate, we're top of the league, we're fighting for a title. Fucking put a shift in." Anyway, that's the fan coming out. Anyway, I think it'll be a scrap. I think it'll be 1-1 personally. I think Wednesday will
Okay.
go ahead, and then Burton will just get one of them really scruffy, them goals. It's like a mix up in the penalty area, and no one knows what's happening, and someone just pokes it in. I think one of them really scrappy goals.
Normally when I'm on a Wednesday podcast, you guys are always backing wins against Burton, so that makes a nice change.
Yeah, well,
to be honest, I think Wednesday go and get another win. I do think 2-1 Wednesday for me.
Well, they need to win every game now.
I'm just fine with that.
Yeah,
You've got to keep the pressure on, haven't you, with Argyle and Ipswich right behind. Yeah.
Well, I'm so flat at the moment, right? Because I got very out. Right, I've always had one rule, and that's never gloat until May. But we were that dominant. We were 5 points clear of 2 games in hand. And we thought, you're like rubbing your hands together, right? It's fucking done already, lads. It's absolutely done already. This title, and then they lose to Forest Green Rovers. And you're like, what? and then suddenly the draws at Cheltenham, and then your 2 games in hand have gone, and you're like, oh my god. And then now we've played a game more, and it's not in our hands anymore. And you're like, oh my god. And now I'm just like, I'm
sure I remember seeing you guys. I'm sure I remember seeing a tweet from someone that you were 4 clear with 2 games in hand not too long ago.
Yeah, 5 clear 2 games in hand.
It was a favourable position, and it's come back complete other way now. It's incredible.
Yeah, so they've completely flattened me, this team now, and I'll eat the biggest slice of humble pie if we win the title now, but I think we'll end up finishing 3rd.
I can't call it. I can't call it at the top of that league. So open.
Oh well, unless Agent James Bell at Ipswich sorts us out this weekend. Right, Ed, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, mate. Thank you very much. I can see your little hashtag there if anyone wants to find him on Twitter at Edward_W97. So cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you,
I hope your team loses on Saturday.
Balls.
Ghoulies.
Chaps.
Tackle.
Knackers.
Chaise long and armchairs.
Dangleberries. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level.
Cojones.
Pebbles.
Gonads.
Plums.
Family jewels. Brass clankers.
The 4th generation trimmer features our cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It's also waterproof and has a 4K LED spotlight if you need a more advanced shave.
Eggs.
Itchy and Scratchy. Mitchell Brothers.
Jewels.
Hanging Brain.
Twin bank robbers.
Chaps. Walnuts.
Gobstoppers.
Gooseberries.
Stabilizers.
The Manscaped 4.0 bundle. It reduces your risk of getting an ingrowing hair, it keeps them clean, it keeps them tidy, and it also increases your chance of fellatio by about 15%. That works out about 2% if you're married. So, Anyway, enter the code TWW20 into the checkout. That's TWW20 into the checkout, and you can get yourself a 20% discount. Not too shabby, eh?
For our European listeners, Velata, Testicular,